Ladies and gentlemen, you think people care about your problems? Let me tell you something, most of the time, they don't. People have their own issues, their own struggles, and frankly, they're not interested in yours. You've got to stop giving your problems away like there's some kind of badge of honor. Keep that stuff to yourself. Why? Because the minute you start telling people about your problems, you're letting them define you. You're allowing your circumstances to determine how you're seen. You're weakening yourself. You see, problems are part of life. We all have them. But here's the thing, your problems do not define you. The minute you start sharing them with others, you're inviting weakness into your life. You're putting yourself in a position of vulnerability, and you're making it easier for others to doubt you. It's like giving them ammunition to fire at you. Keep your struggles to yourself. If you want respect, you don't get it by showing people how hard your life is. You get it by showing them how strong you are despite it. Strength comes from silence. The more you talk about your problems, the more they grow in your life. You give them energy. You feed them. And here's the reality: when you keep your challenges private, when you keep your head down and focus on solving them, that's when you actually start to win. Talking about your problems doesn't fix anything. It doesn't move you forward. It just makes you feel good for a moment. But it doesn't do anything to change your situation. The real power is in doing. Solve the problem. Don't talk about it. You know what's dangerous? Seeking validation. When you open your mouth and start talking about your problems, you open the door for other people to weigh in. And guess what? Their opinions are worthless. Absolutely worthless. Who cares what they think about your struggles? Their opinions will not change your reality. And if you let people give you advice or judge your situation, you're just giving away control. You can't afford to do that. You're not in the business of looking for validation. You're in the business of getting results. Take control of your narrative. Your life is yours to define. Stop letting others define it for you. When you let your struggles become public, you shift the focus from your strength, your vision, your ambitions to your weaknesses. And let me tell you something, you are better than that. You have power within you that you've never tapped into because you're too busy talking about your problems. Be the one in control of your story. Stop giving people a reason to feel sorry for you and start showing them why they should be looking up to you. Finally, let's talk about action. Words don't mean a thing if you're not backing them up with action. You want to show people you're a force to be reckoned with? Stop talking about your problems. Start solving them. Focus on the action. Focus on what you're doing every day to move forward. Because in the end, no one is going to care about the struggles you had. They're going to remember the results you produced. They're going to remember what you did, not what you said. So stop talking about your problems, solve them. And when you come out the other side, let your success speak for itself. That's how you build a legacy. That's how you build a reputation. Let your results be the proof, not your complaints. You have to understand something powerful: your problems don't define you. Life will throw challenges at you, and yes, some of them will seem insurmountable. But here's the truth you need to realize: telling the world about every hurdle you face doesn't give you strength. It weakens you. When you share your struggles too openly, you're not making yourself vulnerable in a healthy way. No, you're giving away your power, your focus, your control. You're allowing others to write the narrative for you. And let me tell you something, you don't need anyone's pity or sympathy to move forward. What you need is to take ownership of your situation, to stand tall, and to face your problems head on without needing validation from the outside world. I think about it, the moment you tell someone about your problems, you're inviting their opinions, their judgments, and their limitations into your world. They start to see you not as the powerful force you are, but as someone who's struggling, someone who's uncertain. What's worse, they begin to view you through the lens of your problems. And that's dangerous. That's how you get stuck in a cycle where your identity becomes tied to the difficulties you're facing. But let me be clear, you are not your problems. You are not your circumstances. You are not the hardship you're going through right now. You are a force. And the world doesn't need to see you broken or defeated to respect your power. No, the world needs to see you standing tall, despite the storm, moving forward, doing the work, and refusing to let anything break your spirit. That's the kind of person people respect. That's the kind of person you want to be. We live in a world where everyone's quick to share their difficulties, and I get it. We all need support sometimes. But there's a difference between seeking help when needed and airing your dirty laundry for the world to see. When you share your problems constantly, you don't just invite other people's opinions, you create a public narrative that says, I can't handle this and that is a trap. The more you tell people about your struggles, the more you attach yourself to them, and the more you allow those struggles to shape who you are. You think you're just venting? You're not. You're solidifying a reality where your problems are bigger than your power. And that is not where your strength lies. Real strength comes from internalizing the challenge and then taking action. You handle your problems with grit, resilience, and resolve. You take them on one step at a time, without broadcasting every moment of doubt to the world. You take that burden in silence and use it to fuel your growth, your work, and your transformation. The strength you cultivate through silence is a powerful thing because it comes from within, and it's the only strength that really matters. People will start to see you for who you truly are, not someone who is defined by their problems, but someone who is defined by their ability to overcome them. And that is the kind of person who doesn't just survive, but thrives. Stop letting others define you by your struggles. Stop letting your problems shape how others see you. Your worth, your power, and your potential are not determined by the difficulties you face. They are determined by your ability to rise above them. So take control of your life, keep your problems to yourself, and show the world that you are capable of handling anything life throws your way without needing to share your pain for validation. When you do that, you won't just overcome your problems, you'll rise above them, stronger, more determined, and more powerful than ever before. There's an undeniable power in silence, and too many people overlook it. We live in a world that values noise. We're bombarded with opinions, advice, and constant chatter about everything under the sun. But here's the truth, the loudest voices are often the weakest. It's the quiet, controlled silence that holds the true power. Because strength doesn't need to shout. Strength doesn't need to be heard. It just is. Think about it. Every time you find yourself sharing your problems, airing your struggles, you're weakening your position. You're giving away your energy, your focus, and your power. The more you talk about your problems, the more they become your identity. The more you vocalize your pain, the deeper it gets embedded in your life. People might listen for a moment, but nothing changes. It's just noise. You need to understand that every time you give away your story, you're letting others define your reality. You're giving them permission to see you as weak. But when you choose silence, when you hold your thoughts and feelings in, you hold on to your power. Silence isn't about hiding or pretending that things aren't tough. It's about taking control of your narrative. It's about recognizing that not every struggle needs to be shared and that you don't owe the world an explanation for every hurdle you face. In silence, you learn to rise above the noise. You take the time to think, reflect, and find solutions. You don't need the world's approval to keep pushing forward. Your strength comes from within, not from the validation of others. The power of silence also allows you to focus on action. You don't need to talk about what you're doing, you just need to do it. Silence breeds action. When you stop focusing on sharing your pain and start focusing on finding solutions, that's when real change happens. Silence creates space for you to think strategically. It gives you the room to plan, to execute, and to conquer. It's in those quiet moments where the most powerful decisions are made, where the best strategies are formed, and where you build the foundation of your success. The world has been conditioned to believe that if you're not talking about something, you're not doing anything. But that's the furthest thing from the truth. You don't need to tell everyone your next move. You don't need to broadcast every struggle or obstacle you face. People who are truly strong, who are truly focused on success, don't spend time broadcasting their weaknesses. They remain quiet. They stay focused. They keep moving forward. Their silence is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It's a sign of self-assurance, of confidence in their own ability to overcome. In this world, everyone is so quick to speak, quick to tell their story, quick to seek sympathy. But the truly powerful understand that silence is not a void. It's a space where they draw strength from within. It's where they gather their thoughts, where they heal, and where they grow. When you master the art of silence, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, no external force can ever break you. So don't be afraid of silence. Don't think you have to explain yourself or share every burden you carry. Real strength comes from within and is found in those quiet moments when you're alone with your thoughts, working through the challenges and preparing for the next step. Keep your silence. Let your actions speak for you. The strongest people are not the ones who make the most noise. They're the ones who have the quiet courage to face whatever comes their way and keep moving forward without a word. That is the true power of silence. You need to stop seeking validation from other people. Stop trying to get others to approve of your path, your decisions, and your actions. The danger of seeking validation is that it leaves you tethered to other people's opinions, and that's a dangerous place to be. When you constantly seek the approval of others, you become reliant on them. You begin to shape your actions, your mindset, and even your worth around what they think of you. The more you rely on others to tell you you're doing okay, the less you trust your own judgment, your own instincts. You're handing them the reins to your life, and that is not a position of power. It's a position of weakness. Here's the truth: the only person who needs to approve of what you're doing is you. If you're waiting for everyone around you to give their stamp of approval, you're going to be waiting for the rest of your life. People will always have opinions, but that doesn't mean they know what's best for you. It doesn't mean they understand your dreams, your vision, or your purpose. The truth is, many people will try to hold you back because they're afraid of your potential or they're jealous of the progress you're making. Don't let their fear dictate your future. Seeking validation is nothing more than an attempt to ease your own insecurity. It's a mask that hides your fear of rejection, your fear of failure. But let me tell you something: you are not defined by what others think of you. You are not defined by how much praise you receive. Your value is not dependent on whether or not people recognize your worth. Your value is inherent in who you are, and once you realize that, you'll stop chasing after approval like it's some kind of lifeline. When you seek validation, you are giving away your power. You're looking to the outside world to confirm your greatness, and that, my friends, is a grave mistake. Real power comes from within. Real power comes from standing firm in your own truth, regardless of what the world thinks. If you live your life waiting for others to affirm your choices, you'll spend your life in a perpetual state of indecision, constantly second-guessing yourself. And that's no way to live. You've got to trust yourself. Trust your instincts. Trust your own vision, even when it doesn't align with what others are telling you. Because when you stop seeking validation, that's when you start to truly walk in your purpose. The problem with constantly seeking validation is that you end up losing sight of your own goals. You begin to measure your success based on other people's standards, not your own. You make decisions to please others rather than to fulfill your own purpose. You start to base your self-worth on external factors: how many likes you get on social media, how many compliments you receive, how many people approve of what you're doing. But those things are fleeting. They don't define who you are or what you're capable of. The truth is, your success and your value are not up for debate. They are not contingent upon what anyone else thinks. So stop wasting time looking for others to approve of you and start moving toward your goals with unshakable confidence. Remember this: those who are truly destined for greatness do not wait for the world's applause. They do not need validation. They move forward with conviction, regardless of whether or not people understand their journey. And when you finally stop seeking validation, you'll realize that you have everything you need within you to succeed. You are your own biggest fan. You are your own biggest supporter. And once you believe in yourself, you'll find that nothing can stand in your way. So stop giving away your power. Stop letting other people's opinions dictate your worth. Own your decisions, own your path, and trust that you are capable of greatness, whether or not anyone else sees it. Because when you stop seeking validation, you unlock your true potential. You stop living for others and start living for yourself. And that is where true freedom lies. Too many people walk through life as if they're being dragged along, carried by the weight of circumstances, influenced by the opinions of others, and dictated by the challenges that stand in their way. They let the world around them define who they are, how they should feel, and what they should become. They passively accept the narrative others impose on them, letting the world write their story. But I'm here to tell you this: you are the author of your own life. If you don't take control of your narrative, someone else will. And trust me, they won't be writing a story you want to live. Taking control of your narrative means owning who you are, where you're going, and how you're going to get there. It means deciding every single day that no matter what happens, you are not going to let the world dictate your journey. You are going to step up, take charge, and live life on your own terms. Every day, the world will try to box you in, label you, or tell you what you're capable of, but you don't have to accept it. You have the power to change the story, to rewrite the script. It's easy to let others shape the story of who you are. People will see your past mistakes, they'll hear your struggles, and they'll start telling you who they think you are. They'll reduce you to your failures, your challenges, and the things you've yet to achieve. But listen to me, that's not the truth of who you are. Your past does not define you. The challenges you face don't determine your future. If you allow others to write your narrative, you'll be trapped in their version of reality, forever stuck in a place where you have no power to move forward. Taking control of your narrative means not letting the setbacks, the failures, or the negative voices define your worth. It means deciding that you will not be held hostage by your past or by other people's expectations. You are more than your mistakes. You are more than your struggles. And the moment you take responsibility for your own story, the moment you step up and say, I am in charge here, that's when your power kicks in. That's when things start to change. Because when you control your narrative, you control your destiny. I think about the people you admire. Think about the leaders, the visionaries, the ones who have made an impact on the world. What do they have in common? It's not just their intelligence, their talent, or their luck. It's that they took control of their own narrative. They didn't let anyone else tell them what they could or couldn't do. They didn't let setbacks or obstacles define their path. They made decisions. They moved forward. They wrote their own stories. So what does it take to take control of your narrative? It takes courage. It takes the willingness to look at where you've been and say, that's not the end of the story. That's just one chapter. I'm writing the rest. It takes the guts to stand up in the face of adversity, to say no to the voices that tell you you're not enough, and to choose to believe that you have the power to create the life you want. When you take control of your narrative, you stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for the world to validate you. You stop letting other people's opinions shape your decisions. Instead, you take action. You move with purpose. You make choices that align with your values, your vision, and your goals. You become the hero of your own story, not the victim. And here's the key: you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. But you do have to show up every single day and take ownership of your journey. You are not just a passenger in your life, you are the driver. And when you take control of your narrative, you realize that you have the power to steer your life in any direction you choose. The road may not always be smooth, There will be bumps, twists, and turns, but as long as you are behind the wheel, you have the power to keep going, to adjust, and to move forward. The most powerful thing you can do is own your story. Stop apologizing for who you are. Stop trying to fit into someone else's idea of success. Stop looking for validation from people who don't see your potential. Take the pen back. Write your own story. Because when you do, you'll find the strength to rise above any obstacle, the courage to face your fears, and the clarity to move forward with confidence and purpose. You control the narrative, so start writing it. Every chapter, every paragraph, every word is yours. And trust me, the world will stand up and take notice of a person who owns their story and refuses to let anyone else write it for them. So let me leave you with this: you are the author of your own life. Every challenge, every setback, every triumph is part of your story, but you are the one who decides how it ends. Don't let anyone else take the pen from your hand. Stop waiting for permission. Stop living by someone else's rules. You are capable of more than they ever imagined, and it's time you started writing your narrative with that truth in mind. When you take control of your story, you open up a world of possibility. You shift from being a victim of circumstance to a master of your own destiny. Don't allow the opinions, the failures, or the expectations of others to define who you are. Own your narrative, make it yours, and when you do, you'll be unstoppable. So go ahead, grab the pen, write the story of your life, and watch how it unfolds in ways you never thought possible. You are in control. Now, make it count.